Alright, so as requested by a user yesterday on this bike right here, gonna do a I guess 11-month review. I'll post the exact month's review time it is for this bike, but let me just check it on Strava just to be sure. Still checking. Okay, so special thanks to John Renix on YouTube for requesting this video of the review, 11-month review of this bike. I got this bike early 2019, I think February 2019, and I just checked Strava finally. My internet was acting up. I just checked Strava, and this bike, the Flash Giant Propel, has 3,269 miles on it. My Tarmac SL2 has 19,000 miles on it. Where is it at? TT bike right there, the Wraith, the all blacked out bike, has 1,200 miles on it. She-Hulk, my newest one here, Specialized Ruby, currently has 149 miles on it. I just got that bike. It's Monday, June 8th. What else? My mountain bike over here. My mountain bike right here. I don't know how much miles I have on there. I don't usually always record when I'm riding my mountain bike. And then my Sticker Bomb 725 has 5,393 miles on the track bike back here, because I used to ride fixed gear a lot. So back to that bike. Let me zoom in on that bike. Can I zoom in? Can't zoom in on this mode. Okay, never mind. 11 months in, the bike is really good. What can I say about it? For short rides, it's greatest. Like we have a Sunday morning coffee jam ride out here as the local ride. It's about 40 miles, fast sprints, nice roads, nice paved roads. So I run 85 psi on these tires, Specialized Turbo and 25C front and rear. Switched out the crank to a Dura Ace crank with power meter, and shortened the cranks to 165. What else? The stem is standard still, even though a lot of people hate the stem. I have just grown to accept the stem. I need to pop a drink because I just cut down a tree in the front, and that was pretty exhausting. So as far as aerodynamics, because it is an aero bike, I would say definitely aero. Much more aero than my Tarmac, much more aero than my Ruby, but not as aero as the full-on Trinity, Giant Trinity aero bike, but pretty close. The thing I do like about the Propel versus the Trinity is the Propel has better handling on windy days, because the front wheel is about a 40 millimeter and the rear is like a 60 or 65 millimeter in the rear, so it's offset high rim depths. I like that this bike is easy to clean, including the bottom bracket. Spray some turtle wax, spray and wash wax on it, nice and clean, freeze clean. The shifting is really smooth. I added a chain catcher up in the front, but the chain has never fallen off anyway. I ran it as an 1132 for a while. I added a link, and and the short cage, the short cage that's on it, Ultegra 7000, was able to handle my 1132 because the derailleur that's on here from 2019 is the one that has that extended built-in Ultegra 7000. It's like a built-in road link, so that was cool. That was a cool option, but I'm currently running it 1125 just for flatland riding. Don't do much hills, but if I do hills, I'll either take this bike with the 1132 or this bike with an 1128 on it. This can climb, but for a bigger Clydesdale rider like this guy, climbing's always difficult. It's not a climbing bike, but it can climb. But the cliche stiff bottom bracket, even though it's a total cliche now, very stiff bars, very stiff headset, very stiff fork. I do notice that when I sprint on it full gas, then the disc brake rotor will slightly rub, and then as soon as I stop sprinting, the rub sound will go away. Because it is disc brake, it is easier to modulate the brakes. Everybody knows that about disc brakes already. And then it just looks aesthetically more cleaner without the brake caliper grabbing the rim. The braking on it is really good in the wet, in the dry. The price point is really good compared to other friends who have the Super 6 or it's the Cannondale Aerobike System 6. The System 6 is super expensive, Cannondale. The Specialized Venge is also super expensive. The Trek Aerobike is the most expensive. I think one ladder up from this would be if you're looking for an Aerobike, it would be maybe the Canyon Air Road. This is a mango wheat ale, by the way. Mango beer, pretty good. Maybe it's just a Hawaii thing. So the bar tape is deteriorating. Let me bring the bike closer to show it. Okay, so the bar tape is already pretty much deteriorating. I did add gel underneath the drops and the tops over here. The gel that comes with the bar fat from Specialized comes in the package. This is the standard stem, as I had said. I did get a aftermarket GoPro mount over here from China, and it came with the bolts that this proprietary mount is capable of using. they do stick out a bit, so I kind of spray painted those black a little bit so they weren't so hideous looking, but it does function well. I use a specialized sticks up on the front for handlebar light, and it goes that way, like lengthwise, so it goes with the aero feel of the bike. What else? I got it tuned up at I think mile 300. These are still doing good. I forget if I had to trim the stem or not. I don't think I trimmed much off of it. If I did, it was maybe just the bare minimum, because according to my guru fit for that bike and this bike, which I got on the same day, TT fit and Aerobike fit, what do you call it? This size 52 small, which is a small, I would have to have this stem stack height. But I have noticed that I probably could have gone medium, because some days I do feel like I want to be more stretched out, and then I could have did away with this much of a stack height if I went with a higher head tube stack height. But that was the numbers I was currently at the time. I'm a little bit fitter now, riding a little bit more, so that's why I could go longer and lower. But this is my all-around setup, pretty comfortable. I did do a double century in this setup, 200 miles in one day with zero flats with this tire arrangement, Turbo Pro Gripton in 26C. I never tried it with 28s yet, but it does look like there is enough clearance for 28s. I'll probably post in the description if I ever do try with 28s, because I just picked up some 28s in the Continental GP 5000s, and there is a little bit of clearance compared to the TT bike. The TT bike, man, there is like barely any clearance, and they're the same size, but this is a gator skin, but it's also a 26 millimeter, yeah, and there's barely any clearance if you're comparing the two. And this is mechanical, but I have no problems with mechanical. I run look pedals and a power meter. This crank was originally on that bike, and that crank belonged to this bike, but I use this bike more, so I need the power meter rating more for this bike because I train on this bike more. The wheels, super stiff. Hub sound, really good. I'll do the hub sound at the end of the video. I tried running these tubeless. Don't recommend it. Tubeless Gavia tires that came with this bike totally suck. The stands normal sealant with the Gavia tires at anything higher than 60 psi. If you get anything smaller than a pinhole, just leak sealant all over the place. It's terrible. You got to put a tube in anyway. Don't do it. Just run tubes on it. I run 85 psi. Super comfortable. Get comfortable tires. Don't put gator skins or armadillos on this bike because the frame is already mighty stiff. You'll be good to go. What else? It's easy to adjust these bolts. Very easy. The front is hand tightened with a screw, with a hand nut over there. And there are levers. I don't know if they're removable. They might be, but there are levers which I like, and I don't have any problem with them. Clean these with either alcohol or disc brake cleaner. the type that doesn't damage your paint. And everybody likes the color of this bike. It is neon red for the record, but everybody calls it orange. And I like the minimal aesthetics of the bar ends. They're just basic. This is the tape that came on the bike. I do like it. I would definitely recommend it. I'm probably going to double wrap this and get rid of the gel just to decrease the bulk and the ease of rewrapping it. These are the bulkier hydraulic shifters, brifters, and they're good. I don't mind them. They're good for sprinting, even though you should be sprinting in the drops. They are good. They feel really good in the hand. Gloves are not, even though I do run gloves. And what else? I replaced the clear plastic over here, or clear chain protector, with some automotive carbon fiber tape. It looks like carbon fiber. It's just called carbon fiber tape, but it's just automotive decorative tape, which is a stronger type of tape, and that works good. Keeps the bike clean. Chain catcher by K-Edge. And what else can I say about this bike? Super Aero. Always get compliments on this bike. It's one of the cheapest price points for an Aerobike. Would I recommend it? I would still highly recommend it. Tarmac, better all-around bike for sure. This is a 2013. That's always my go-to for every day, but now this is my favorite current bike. The Ruby endurance bike. Super comfy. I just gotta get a longer stem. Comfort wise, super comfy. Rigid, not comfy. Little more compliant, but adjust the tires for comfort, but still comfy for an aero bike. Really good all around. Older tarmac, pretty comfortable. I've done thousands of miles on that bike. Track bike, aluminum, rigid, super rigid, but good bike. Fixed gear, bomb-proof bike. My mountain bike I got for free. Good bike too. But yeah, let's say that is the review. 3,000 mile review of the Giant Propel. Right there, 2019. Don't go tubeless. So just to review, don't go tubeless on it. Replaced the tubeless rim tape with regular rim tape. And let me play some music here. And keep your bike clean. Keep your drivetrain clean. Let me bring the bike closer, spin the back free hub, and end the video. Thanks again. The dude who recommended this video. Let me spin it. Alright, like and subscribe. Bye for now. Bye bye.